I'm going to address hemp, okay, and CBD oil and cannabis in general. I use this brand. This is Larice. I know the guys who own this company in Australia. Always give a shout out to these. They're beautiful people. Lovely family-owned business. They meditate on the products. Every product has the beautiful symbol. They understand the power of the flower of life and things like this. They get this hemp from Canada. Hemp oil is naturally got the perfect ratio of 3, 6, and 9 omegas, fatty acids, essential fatty acids. Okay. It has so many benefits. This just a teaspoon a day. Just a teaspoon a day. Dr. Emoto did all the work with water, being conscious. When Fukushima first happened, he suggested to the government, the Japanese government, he said, in my research, radiation is so detrimental because it's such a low frequency and vibration. The highest frequency and vibration that he studied was hemp, okay? Hemp plant. He suggested straight away that they plant hemp around Fukushima because everything in this universe is resonance, okay? So he said the high frequency of the hemp and the low frequency of the Fukushima, it would keep it contained. And they laughed at him, and they tried it years and years later, but apparently it was too late. A lot of respect to Dr. Emoto for his contribution to humanity in his research. So hemp oil is great. You have sunburn. I put hemp oil on sunburn. It's very good on the skin. Remember, we absorb through our skin. Number one, fastest. So so this is actually not just about this. This is about the skin. If you don't like ingesting, like my wife doesn't like ingesting magnesium in like the powders that I use, obviously have a bath. Dr. Serkis says a great cancer protocol, but just for general health as well, is 2 kilos of bicarbonate soda and 2 kilos of magnesium chloride flakes in a bath is brilliant for the body. Don't stay in it for longer than 20 minutes because everything that's getting pulled out, you'll start absorbing back in. Okay, so 20 minutes in a warm bath with 2 kilos of each, 50-50 ratio. Another thing to do, I did this morning, I used to do this all the time, is just put quite a lot of magnesium chloride flakes in a pan with filtered water, and just gently start heating it up until it evaporates into the water. Put it in a spray bottle, spray it on your skin. If your skin really tingles, it means that it needs it. That's what it means. It means your skin needs it, and it means it's absorbing it in. Put it everywhere. Like you look at me, I'm brown, but these are like the tan marks. These are the parts that don't get the sun. Now, our research was showing that most skin cancers are in places that don't get sun. Okay, we've been told this whole lie that everything's an invasion. Remember, whatever's meant to be good for us is bad for us. Whatever they say is bad for us is good for us. So we're meant to be afraid of the sun. The sun is the great giver of life. So get your body in the sun every day. Obviously, you're not going to abuse it. You stay in the sun all day, you're going to burn. So just common sense, be an adult. But magnesium, very simple. Spray it all over your body. Spray it. I spray it on my head, under my arms, on your genitals, anywhere. Okay, spray it everywhere. If it tingles, doesn't feel nice putting clothes on over it, so put it on, leave it for 20 minutes, and then wash it off in the shower. Tastes a bit funky. Okay, tastes a bit funky, but see this? Put it under your tongue. Now that's tingling under my tongue, and it does taste funky. It tastes like this. It tastes like the sea minerals I was talking about. But it's one way to get it into your system, because if you were to drink this, you'll be going to the toilet a lot, which isn't a bad thing. A lot of people think having the runs is a bad thing. I listened to a story of a guy who had stage 4 cancer, and I don't want to go into too much detail with this because I might get it wrong. I don't really remember the full story, but long story short, he went to see this alternative doctor because the traditional way it said they've lost hope in him. They give him next to no time to live. And this doctor read his eyes, okay, iridologist, read his eyes, and he said, "This is what you need to flush out." And I can't remember what it was. It was like a broth, okay? And he said, just to have this broth multiple times a day, nothing else. So he does. 3 weeks later, nothing's happened. He goes back to see the same doctor. He says, nothing's happened. He says, "Mate, I'm reading your eyes. Keep taking this broth." It wasn't a meat broth. It was like a potato skin broth. It was a real interesting one. It was something he needed that his eyes were saying. So he keeps drinking another 2 weeks, 5 weeks all up. He drank this broth for. Then there was the release. He went to the toilet 90 times in 3 days. Completely flushed out. And then after that, his healing was so rapid. The bodies, he was like literally weeks later, his health was restored and his cancer was gone. So, you know, I've heard stories of people who have had the runs after introducing something into their body, and they're flushing out. They're basically getting out things they've had for years. This woman pooed out, she was 28 and she didn't remember eating it, so she said it's got to be from when she was a baby. It could have been 28 years ago, but she pooed out a piece of Lego, okay, that she obviously swallowed, that's been sitting in her insides for that long. So don't be too scared of having the runs, okay? If it's going on for too long, then that might be a sign of something, but don't let it come out. Don't try and stop it. You think of what we do today. We have all these things where we have the runs, we stop it. It's the body trying to get rid of what it's doing. We have a fever, we stop it. We think it's a bad thing. The body knows what it's doing. The intelligence of the body knows what it's doing. Like my mum's situation right now, I said she's been diagnosed with lung cancer. But my mum suffered with cramps and restless leg syndrome. And she wouldn't really listen to me when I asked her to take with certain things. Since she's been diagnosed with this, she did. This just, the body doesn't speak in English, you see. The body speaks to us with symptoms. So that's their body saying, I don't have enough magnesium, for example. So I gave her fulvic acid and magnesium, and straight away she's got no restless leg, she's sleeping better, she's got no cramps anymore. So simple, okay? Back to this. I'm not going to tell you where I got it because it's still a bit of a grey area in Australia. This is CBD oil. Again, we know the effects of cannabis, the hemp plant, male and female. We know THC has got many medicinal properties, but obviously it's got an effect, like a psychoactive effect. But I put CBD oil on my head and on my body. I spray, you know, magnesium, take different things through the skin, because you don't want to be constantly taking things through internal use. This is great. I love this stuff. This one that I've got here is in a fractionated coconut oil. But sometimes I mix that one with the hemp as well. And I'll put that on my head. After I shave my head, I'll put that on my head. I'll put it on my skin. It's so lovely. It smells lovely. It's got such a lovely organic feeling to it. And you're getting the benefits of CBD oil. Which has, you know, they know there's over 5,000 medicinal properties in CBD. So another thing to look at, one of the foundational building blocks in our body is sulfur, okay? And another thing that we're deficient in is sulfur. So things like zinc, vitamin D from the sun, magnesium and iodine, these things we are definitely deficient in. So I use a ionic zinc, okay? And another thing to get sulfur is MSM. You can get a synthetic version, or you can get a natural version. Obviously natural version's always better. Like I spoke about vitamin C yesterday. We use kakadu plum naturally as well, so kakadu plum is very rich in vitamin C. But these are all things that are, you introduce them into your life, into your diet, you're going to see huge changes. So yeah, one more video after this on drainage, draining the body, and how to prepare for sleep, the importance of sleep and water.